All right, what's up, you guys? We're back and we're live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you are logging on, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. Now, we also have our SIZZLING summer suit sale going on right now. So if you check out this QR code right here on YouTube and Facebook on the screen, you can scan that. If you want 75% off the top of the line suit that we offer, along with lots of other fun bonuses, this is our biggest sale of the year right here. Just scan that QR code. It is free to register, no obligation to buy when you register. Just enter your name and email. That gets you on the list from when we open up. So do it right here, suit sale. If you are on Instagram, if you go over to our YouTube and Facebook, then you'll see what I'm talking about. On YouTube and Facebook, we will be screen sharing. Instagram is only my face. My face and my voice. That's all you get on Instagram. What's up? What's up? Welcome. My face actually hurts right now because I went to Virginia Institute today. As you guys know, if you come to Cutie's Cock on the Stage, they were one of our sponsors there. I go to them for all my face stuff, and I got some sculpture done today, so my face is actually sore. So I'm having a hard time, like, smiling fully. So don't mind me. I'm like trying not to make my face move all that much. So it's fun times. Every time I try to smile big, it like hurts right here. So I'm sore. The things that we do, you guys, the things that we do. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. So we're going to do a preview of this weekend shows. There are several. It is a big weekend show weekend, like big shows, and there's several of them. So yeah, it's going to be fun times. So we're going to give it another minute or so people get logged on. And like I said, as you guys are logging on, say hello, say hi, tell me what's up. And would love to work with you if you would like to join my suit sale registration list. And the other part about this is that when we do go live with the suit sale, there's a limited amount of packages that we sell because they are so heavily discounted. So you need to be on that list so that you have first line access so that you can actually get one of them before they're sold out, because we do sell out every single year. So get on it. Get on that suit sale right there. All right. What is up? All right, let's get this rolling. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. Hello. So see you soonish. Yay. Are you coming up to one of the studies with Sean? I hope that's what that means. Yeah, I got sculpture done today. This is actually my second time going in, so I just got touched up today. My first time was a month ago. So it's good. We should talk about that at some point. We're not going to talk about it completely tonight, but so far so good. Makes my face fuller. For those of you guys that don't know what sculpture is, it's like a more natural filler. It makes your body produce collagen. Browsers, I know, right? My brows are looking good tonight. I know, that was on accident. Happy accident. But thank you. Yeah, so what sculpture does is it makes your body produce more collagen. And it actually creates like your body creates the filler so that you're not actually pumping your face full of filler. It actually makes your body do it itself. So that's what sculpture is. It is more expensive than filler, but that's because it actually is your body doing it. So it becomes a permanent solution and it lasts. So my face has gotten a lot fuller. I don't know if you guys have noticed that in the last month or so, but my face has gotten fuller through my cheeks and through my jawline and through my smile lines and all that. That's from sculpture. That's my own collagen taking over. So yeah. So yes, and sculpture is permanent as far as it's because it's your body doing it. So, I mean, nothing on your body is permanent, right? Like you're going to lose collagen over time, that kind of thing. You're going to age over time, right? But in that regard, like filler will metabolize out in a matter of, depending on the filler, anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, depending on the filler that you're using for whatever it is you're doing. Whereas you're not metabolizing out your own collagen, right? Your aging process will take the collagen. But while you can have your own collagen fill your face, basically. So then it ends up being more natural looking. It doesn't look like you're pumped full of stuff. And it just looks like your own skin, your own fill, your own fat in your face, all of that. So That's the long and short of it. And actually, I'll talk more about this too, because I've decided to partner with Virginia Institute. So once I've actually got that put together, I'll let you guys know a little bit more about that. But I've been going there. I've been going there like once a month. I'm like, hey, I'm back. What's up? Hey, I'm back. So, you know, is what it is. It's all part of being beautiful, right? So anyway, got to keep it around as long as I can. That said, let's get into previewing this weekend's shows. All right. So let's go to the pro lists. We have 3 shows. I'm going to start with Toronto because Toronto is the smallest of the 3. Let me go ahead and share that. So this is always interesting to me with Toronto because Toronto was one of those shows that was a top tier show, like a New York, like a Chicago, like a Tampa, that kind of thing. But when COVID hit, that really hit Toronto, Canada in general hard. So the numbers have not been great over the last couple of years, and it's not really their fault. It's kind of the way of the world is what's happened, that kind of thing. So, I know just a couple of weeks ago that for Bikini, they only had, I think 3 girls signed up, something like that. So they've definitely got a lot more, which is good. But it's not a huge show specifically, in comparison to the other shows that we're seeing in the other two shows that we're seeing this weekend. So we're going to talk what I'm going to do with each one of these shows. So I want to give each show a little bit of attention is I'm going to talk about the top contenders. So there could be more people on these lists that could do very well, but I'm just going to kind of say who the front runners would be going into each show. And then we'll go through it because otherwise we'll be here forever if we completely do a preview for every show. So with Toronto, right off the top, we're looking at Ellie Fernandez. I think this is Ellie right here. Is it? Yes. So Ellie obviously would be probably your front runner in this particular show. She's been doing very, very well already. I don't think she's not Olympia qualified yet. But she did do the Arnold, did well at the Arnold, top 4 at New York. So just going into this, Ellie would probably be the one that you got to look out for and the one that you would expect to be in the top 1 or 2 spots. She had a really great package at New York. So she probably, if I was a betting person, I would say she's probably going to take the win here. That would be my 2 cents. She is a previous Olympian, has been there, I think 4 times, something like that. Always has a very good package. She's one of these people that can sometimes come in a little bit too soft or a little bit too hard or whatever, but she still is very, very good regardless of her conditioning level. So I actually liked a lot of what she put on stage for New York. I thought her backside shot was really good. I think that if anything, the one thing she really has to be careful of when she's competing is her waistline. That's where she tends to get critiqued on, whether it's too tight or too blown out and not tight enough or whatever. We talked about her pose when we were talking about New York, because this is almost like an Instagram kind of pose here. But it works for her. She's a little bit more straight on than a typical bikini competitor would be. But with that, her frame, like when she twists all the way to the side, she looks pretty thick through her waistline. So, when she comes a little bit more forward and pushes that glute pop a little bit more, pushes that leg, the Instagram knee that we're talking about here, this actually works for her. This works well for her. So, and I don't know if this was a planned show for Ellie or if she just decided to jump in because the list was smaller. But regardless, it is a smart show choice for her. Yes, absolutely. It's a smart choice for her for sure. And again, she is likely going to be your winner coming out of this. Now, we said that last week too, Romina being the front runner, and she ended up placing 3rd. So anything can happen here based on, how she comes in. But, again, if you're betting, she's probably gonna be in the top spot. So let's take a look at the rest of the list here. Next one on that list we probably be looking at is Brittany Gillespie. So initially, when people were looking at this list, she was one of the few people on there, and everybody's like, "Oh, she's your front runner. She should be the one that comes in and wins this." But now we got some competition. So this is why you can't plan your shows based on who's going to show up, because that can change in a matter of a day. You know what I mean? It can definitely change. Now, I do know that Brittany just switched coaches. I think that Wasatch, her peak was off, so I don't think this was the best look for her. She needs a few tweaks to her posing, a few tweaks to her overall package, that kind of thing. So if she brings that in here at this show, she could definitely be in those top 2 spots again. I said this before with her initial pro debut, that she is going to win a show at some point. This could still be her show, even with Ellie coming in as a front runner. That doesn't mean that she's definitely going to win. This could be Brittany's show. I'm curious to see what she's going to look like when she comes in, how she's changed things. She switched to Jamie DeBernard, so she is now with Fit Body Fusion. So I'm curious to see what they do, and I'm curious to see how she looks on stage. Regardless, I'm looking forward to seeing if she improves from her last show. I do think she's probably going to be in the top 3 here, but it's just going to be a matter of where she falls and where the other girls fall based on their package that day. So she's another one to be looking for sure. Next one that we see on that list that we should be paying attention to is Adair. So Adair has not been on stage for a while. It was not this past year. It was last year that she was on stage. So she's taking quite a bit of time off, right? No, she was on. Oh, I take that back. She was on stage last year. I take that back. So she did do Toronto last year. So she took 8th last year, but she has done some decent placings. So right here, she was 5th, Golden State Pro. So it's been a little while since Adair has been on stage. So she's also working with Jamie too. So I expect to see her package being quite a bit different when she comes into this show this year. She's got a great shape. The one show that I saw her in person was the Ben Weeder. And she came in decent for that show. She was a little too lean for that show, in my opinion. She was very close to winning that show, but she was just a little bit too lean. She needed to fill out a little, but she's got an amazing shape. She actually needs to kind of undo a little bit of this tilt in her back. She's one of the few people out there that has a massive tilt in her back, and she can undo that and just stand a little bit straighter. I think that would help with her shape, but I think overall she just needs a little bit more fullness to her shape. Great muscle and all that. She just needs to be a little bit fuller. So if she comes in a little bit fuller than what she did last year, then this could be a very, very good package for her. So we'll see what she looks like. It's been a little while. Like I said, it's been a little while. Like if she did Toronto, then it's been, a year? I don't even know when Toronto was last year. I know they moved stuff around, so I could be wrong. It could be less than a year. Brittany's tough. Really. Yep. So, this could be a good show for her. I really think it's going to be those 3 in the top 3, and it's going to be a matter of who comes out looking the best that day. And it could be any one of these girls. Any one of them could win it for sure. Also, in Toronto, we have women's wellness. It is a small list, but we also have wellness in Miami too. So that's part of it. It's been split up. So the one name that I brought out was Annie Marie Goebel. I did look up the placings of each one of these girls because I'm not familiar with them. I am not familiar with any of these girls. They're all, Canadian and Colorado. I mean, I don't know any of these girls really. This girl right here took 2nd at the Rising Phoenix. So this is why I brought her in as a potential winner here. She's got a great look. Let me see if I can find a front post for her. She placed 2nd in Phoenix. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of her shots here. Sorry, I'm looking at comments here. What was the question? Hold on a second. Emily. Why did I not see Emily? I think I looked her up. I think she didn't come. I think her name didn't pop up or something. I'm looking her up right now. Let's see if I can pull up her photos. Hang on a second. No, there it is. Maybe I just hit it wrong or something when I looked up last time. Hang on. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, I saw Emily in Pittsburgh. She placed 6th in Pittsburgh. So I didn't pull her up because she placed 6th. And I really only kind of talk about people that place top fives. So yeah, it was Pittsburgh. She was 6th in Pittsburgh. So in that lineup, though, I mean, when you're outside of the top four were your top call up Pittsburgh. So that's why I didn't pull her up. But yeah, she's got a great look. So she's a potential. I brought this girl up because she's placed top 2. And again, I'm not super familiar with these girls at all, but yeah, you're right. I mean, she has a great look. Let me see if I just had her up. What did I just do with her? Got too many windows up. This is what happens when there's a lot of shows. I'm like, there's too many. I've got too many windows up. I don't know what I'm looking at. What did I just do? Where did the window go? I just had it up with her in it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me pull her up. Okay. I'm like, I've got so many windows open right now because we've got so many shows. So here we go. This is Emily right here. And let's see if we got a decent shot. Here you go. There you go. So y'all can see Emily. There you go. Excuse me. In Pittsburgh, her conditioning was off. So she just needs to bring in tighter conditioning. You can even see that in this front pose. It's her lower half of her body, just not quite there. So she, it's been a few weeks since Pittsburgh. If she brings it in, then she could do pretty well here. I do like the suit color, but I'm not a huge fan of that suit top. It looks like she's going to pop out of it. So I'd probably change that a little bit. Overall, good look. She just needs to make sure she nails her conditioning. With that said, it's probably going to come down to these couple of girls. I didn't really see a whole lot coming out from the other ones. So that's my 2 cents on this show for wellness. So that's Toronto. Let's go to Miami next. All right. I also competed in Miami. So I competed in Toronto, and I've also competed in Miami. I loved competing in the Miami show. It was so much fun. It was probably one of my best looks I've ever had, too, to be perfectly honest with you. I really, really enjoyed it. So this is a big lineup for both bikini and for wellness. You can see here we got a good lineup for wellness, right? Now, again, talk about wellness here real quick. There's not a whole lot of names on this list that are real good. And you can see we've got a lot of foreign girls coming in, right? Poland, Canada, Italy, Denmark, Argentina, Italy, Brazil. We're seeing girls from outside the U.S. in this particular show. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's probably easier for them to travel to this particular show from where they're from. That's probably one big part of it. But also when we're talking about like language barriers and stuff, it's probably easier for a girl from Argentina or Brazil or something like that to come into Miami than it is to come into some other areas of the States. So probably good idea there too. I'm curious to see what some of these girls look like. They don't have a huge contest history, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I mean, right out of the gate, what we would be looking at is, well, I brought Tiffany up, but obviously no results here. So they must have spelled her name wrong. Hang on. Let me find. We'll do Lily first, and then we'll go to Tiffany because she's in New York too. So Lily and Tiffany would be your front runners here, right? So Lily and Tiffany have basically swapped placings between Pittsburgh and New York. So this is the rubber match. So whoever comes in looking their best at this show will likely take this title. Now, in New York, Lily came in a little bit fuller, which I actually liked on her physique. They probably told her that she was a little bit too soft. That's probably what they told her. They probably told her she needed to pull the conditioning back in. Issue is when she pulls the conditioning back in, is then she looks a little too small. So it's like, which one do you do? Do you go a little bit tighter or do you go a little bit fuller? She placed better when she was more conditioned. So that would be the direction I would go. I would go a little bit more conditioned and just sacrifice a little bit of the size so you can come in a little tighter. Judges in general will pick somebody that is more conditioned versus somebody who is rounder and fuller, just based on their size, things like that. If they had a choice between two competitors, one that's in better shape than the other, they're going to pick the one that's in better shape. So if I was Lily, I would come in tighter. I would come in tighter and try to beat Tiffany at this particular show. Now, like I said, they swapped placings. So we look at New York. And we look at Tiffany. Tiffany is bigger. She's got the size, right? She's got the size that Lily doesn't. And she came in tighter here in New York than she was in Pittsburgh, which is what helped her leapfrog up. So if I was Tiffany, I would probably bring in this exact same package. I probably wouldn't change a whole lot. She compared actually pretty well to Giselle on the stage. So if I was her, I would just do the same thing over again and hope that that's enough to actually win the show. So I think it's going to come between the two of them, unless we see one of these girls that we don't have a whole lot of contest history on come out and actually, kick some ass, that kind of thing, which they absolutely could. I'm just going based on our, current results that we have here. And I think it's going to come between the two of them. Now, like I said, we could see somebody from, Brazil or Argentina or something like that come in and just completely take the whole thing. So it could be a really good show. It could be really, could get somebody else really noticed, get them on the map here. That's my 2 cents for wellness. And then let's go to bikini. So bikini is a huge list. Okay. So what I said here, again, we got a lot of girls in here that are from foreign countries. Check out those countries, guys. We got a lot of girls coming into Miami. I pulled out a few names that we should be looking at, that we should be paying attention to for the top call out. But there are several on here that probably could completely surprise us, right? Some girls that we've never seen before. Some girls that I just don't know their names. I don't know. I didn't go through and look up everybody on this list because I'd have been here forever doing that. So I just pulled up some names that we know. So first out of the gate, we got Romina. So Romina just competed. Now, again, she is already Olympia qualified, so she's got nothing to lose here. I'm sure she's coming into this show wanting to do better than what she did at Clash this past weekend. She was too soft in Clash, so she's probably going to come back in a little bit tighter. Like we talked about when we wrapped up Clash yesterday, she just missed the mark on conditioning, but she was probably trying that to see if the judges liked it, because I think she was a little bit too hard through the hamstrings and stuff in Pittsburgh. So again, going back to once you're already Olympia qualified, the key here is just to play with looks until you find the right one. So I feel like that's what she's doing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And also, like I said, just because she won a show and just because she is Olympia qualified, that doesn't mean that she's unbeatable. She obviously was beaten last week, so she can very easily get beaten again. Let's see what she does coming in. I would say she'd be one of your top contenders, definitely in your top 3. If she brings in a similar package to what she did this past week, she's probably going to be outside of the winner's circle. So let's see. Let's see what she does. Let's see if she figures it out. But she would definitely be one to be watching. Janine was also in that show. For some reason, her pictures are not showing up. Let me see if I can get them to come up. She was also top 5 girl in this particular show last week. There we go. Again, we just talked about her last night, and critiques for her really kind of were based around the presentation aspect as far as her makeup and hair were concerned. But I think overall her physique was pretty good here. This is a better package than what she had in the last Clash series. So I don't know if there's a whole lot I would change in that last week other than just trying to figure out some of the polish here. She is on the more muscular side as far as her muscle is concerned, but that doesn't hurt her. That actually helps her with her fullness and everything too. So I'm sure she got some critiques and things this past week, and I'm sure she's going to come in and try and fix those to try to move up a little bit again. My biggest critique for her from this past week was the hair and makeup. That just needs to be cleaned up and polished a little bit better. And then we'll see where she lands this coming week. But she's definitely one to be looking at because she is up in that top 5 range each time she's on stage. And she's winning the 40 and overs too. So she's definitely one to be paying attention to at this show. And then we have Cristobalina. So again, Cristobalina just beat Romina. We just talked about her last night. Like I said, a lot of these girls just competed. And we talked about how Cristobalina just needs to come in and tweak a few things with her posing. She hasn't been on stage, and she hasn't really had good feedback here in the States for over a year. She's doing posing that they did a couple of years ago. She needs to fix those things. Needs to fix a few things with her presentation. You know, I would fix the makeup a little bit. Mostly for her, it's the posing. Mostly it's the posing. If she can fix the posing, she could absolutely come in and win this show. I think her conditioning was right there. I do think she could have probably been a little bit fuller through her shoulders, through her waistline. She's a little bit too hard. Just needs to fill it out a little bit. And this is all stuff that's doable in a matter of a week. So she could very easily walk into this show, be 1 or 2% better and win it. So she's definitely one to be paying attention to here. And like I said, she did just beat Romina. So as strong of a competitor as Romina is, she beat her this past week. So let's see what happens again. Rubber match here in Miami, right? And then we have Sierra Swan. So Sierra won the Optimum Classic. This was going on the same weekend as New York. So we didn't cover it because New York was such a big show. But she did come out with a win here, and she did qualify for the Olympia. So we've got another girl here who is already Olympia qualified. So I'm sure she's coming in to try to, again, same thing that we talked about with Romina, try to make some tweaks and figure out where she can get a little bit better. Maybe try to get another win in. But really, like I said, once you've got that Olympia qualification, then it's about getting in front of different judges, getting critiques, getting better, fixing things, trying new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, all of that. So I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to this show. So I don't like to sit here and critique when I didn't actually go through, you know, pictures, videos, things like that, because again, I was paying attention to New York. But I would say just some little things that I see from the photos is she looks a little bit too hard. I would probably try and fill out a little. Maybe tweak the front pose a little bit. I know I saw some people talking about how her front pose looked like her upper body was dominant versus her lower body, but I'm not really sure that's the case because I saw a lot of these photos and it looked like that from a lot of the girls. So I think it might've just been a camera angle thing. So again, I go back to, I don't know. I don't really want to give a whole lot of critiques here because I wasn't really looking at this show a whole lot. And it's not fair for me to give critiques on photos that I just didn't pay attention to. With that, what I can see here from this photo is probably get a little bit the tan fixed here. Again, that could be a lighting issue where her tan looks different on the bottom half of her body versus the upper half. You know, I don't know. I don't want to give a whole lot of critiques here because I didn't pay attention to the show itself. But it will be interesting to see her again up against girls like Romina, like Cristobalina. And if you look at her right here versus what we just looked at with Cristobalina, I think the two of them are going to compare very, very well together. Also, Romina has a little bit of a similar frame to these girls too. I think Romina's a little bit shorter than Sierra. She might be closer. I think Romina and Cristobalina are relatively close in height. But when I'm looking at their frames are pretty similar from the front specifically. The back's different on each one of them. Every one of them's different on the back. But from the front, their frames are pretty similar. So they could compare pretty well to each other. So it's cool to see girls competing in multiple shows. Ashley used to get crapped on for that. Yeah, you know, and here's the thing. Like, I don't want to get into a whole thing with that because it's been beaten to death as far as you know, several shows and things like that. The deal is that nobody is unbeatable, right? There's not a single competitor out there that is unbeatable. So every time that you get on stage, you run a risk of being beat. You know, like we talked about with Romina. Romina came off of a win, then she goes in and gets, you know, a top 4 and gets a top 4. You know, those aren't the best things in the world. You know what I mean? But if she's using her time on stage to get better and get critiques and get feedback so that she can get better for the Olympia, then she's doing a good job, right? I'm all about these girls competing as long as they're doing it with the purpose of getting better and bringing a better package to the bigger shows like the Olympia, like the Arnold, things like that. Your goal, once you're Olympia qualified, should be to then move up at the Olympia level, right? As long as you're doing that, you go for it, right? Get those critiques, get those wins and those losses out of the way. Try different things, figure out what works for you, figure out what doesn't, all those kinds of things. Go for it, right? Because again, nobody is unbeatable. Nobody, right? So, you know, it's a risk. Every time you get on stage, it's a risk. It's not a guaranteed win for anybody. It is a risk. So you better be playing smart. Play smarter, not harder, right? Play smarter, not harder. So there's that one. And then I brought up one other person for this particular show. And that is Marissa Wu. And the reason why I brought her up is because she is a previous top fiver, but hasn't been on stage for a little bit. So we haven't seen her actually compete for a little while. So I wanted to kind of bring her up because, again, she was a top 5 contender for a while. We just haven't seen her. And if you notice, again, she's one of these girls that when you look at her, she tends to look a little bit upper body dominant, which we're saying the same thing when we're talking about Sierra, we're talking about Romina, and we're talking about Crystal Bellina. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if they all compare well to each other, right? I tend to think that these bodies are all going to stand up next to each other pretty well. So it's going to be a matter of who comes in best that day and who gets closest to the criteria that day. So it's going to be an interesting show. And then beyond that, like I said, there's a lot of girls on this list that I don't know. A lot of girls on this list that have not competed in the States. So this really could be anybody's game. I'm just pulling out the names that I think we should be paying attention to. And I actually think they're all going to compare very well to each other. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. All right. So that was Miami. Okay. Now, where do I have? Oh, let me pull up our last show, which is Vegas. Oh, it's going to be a busy weekend, you guys. Busy weekend. Okay, so here is Muscle Contest. Muscle Contest. So there are a lot of names on this list. I could be here for a very long time going through all these people. We got 25 girls actually competing in this show. So I pulled up a handful of them. One that I didn't pull up that I should have is right at the top of your list there is Maya Asabi. Let me go ahead and do that while I'm doing this right here. Let me go ahead and pull her up. If she pulls up, she might not. Nope. She probably doesn't have this in her name. Yep. There we go. All right. So Maya is a previous Olympian, as you can see right here. She has not been on stage since 2020. This is the last time that she got on stage. So I'm curious to see what she looks like. She was one that qualified for the Olympian points. So she was smart and got off stage and started building so that she could come back and potentially win a show. She was one of these ones that was second place, all freaking season long, right? She was so close to winning a show. So she did the right thing, got off stage and, went and built her frame. So I'm curious to see what she looks like now that she's done that. So yeah, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a crazy show, you guys. So she can come out and just blow everybody away. We'll see. It's hard when you kick the rust off after being off stage for a couple of years. But who knows? Who knows what could happen? So there's first one. Next one is Shanice. So Shanice just placed top 5 at New York. She is a previous Olympian as well. So she's one to be paying attention to as well. One of the things I mentioned about Shanice is just her shape and her frame. She's actually built quite similarly to me, where she's all legs. We talked about that when we were talking about this show. But she came in looking really, really good. So this could be another chance for her to move up a little bit in the placings. She's definitely one to watch out for. Her conditioning is great. Her fullness is great. All of that. So it's just a matter of how she comes in that day and how she looks. But she's definitely one to be watching. Next one is Tara. So Tara just placed, was it third? Yeah, she just placed third just a few weeks ago. This was the same weekend as, oops, what did I do? This was the same weekend as New York. So I'm sorry, the other one that I was talking about, Optimum, was the same weekend. No, was Optimum the same weekend as Pittsburgh or New York? I don't know. Anyway, this one was either the same weekend as Pittsburgh or it was the same weekend as New York. I don't remember which one. But anyway, that's why I didn't pay attention to it. I think this one was Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure this was Pittsburgh. She just placed third here. So again, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. I did look through the photos a little bit, but the lighting is very dark and dim quite a bit. So on all the pictures, so it's hard to really tell what these girls look like. But again, she just placed top 3. So she's another one to be looking at. Beautiful girl. I would say probably needs to come in a little tighter in the waistline. I don't know. But again, I'm not really sure because of the photos. Again, I don't like to comment if I didn't really pay attention to the show and didn't really look through the pictures. But third place win here. Definitely want to be paying attention to in Vegas. Next one on the list is Rihanna, who obviously just won this past weekend. We just talked about her last night. If I was a betting woman, I would say she's going to be in your top 2. She could definitely be your winner here. She is probably, I would say, she's probably your front runner. I would say she's probably your front runner. And we're gonna, Ashley's in the show too, so I have a hard time saying which one is the front runner here, right? I would say her just because she just won, but they both kind of came in off of the similar placings. So Rihanna just placed second to Amy, so did Ashley. So, but Rihanna is coming in with a win, so she kind of has the momentum. So 6 in one hand, half a dozen the other. You can choose which one's the front runner, but I'm guessing they're going to be your top 2. Just gonna be a matter of who comes in looking their best, because Ashley is the next one here. So Ashley did just take second in Pittsburgh again. So did Rihanna in New York. So let's see who ends up pulling the win out here. Now it is Ashley's hometown. She's won this show before. So I'm sure she's coming in hoping to take home a win, because she hasn't won a show yet this year, right? Am I right on that? She placed second in Pittsburgh, and then she was she third at the Arnold, something like that. So I'm sure she's looking to gun for a win here, because she hasn't won a show yet this year. So I think it's gonna be real tight between the two of them. And again, I only placed Rihanna as the front runner just because Rihanna just won a show this past week. That's the only reason why. But really, they're both kind of the same. Fourth at the Arnold. Thanks. I forget all the placings after I talk about these. Sometimes these years all blur together. I try to remember all of them off the top of my head, but they don't always work. I get close. Still going here. Then we got Lizzy Martinez, who also has been placing top 5s. Now, she was just 7th at the Night of Champions. Same thing that we were just talking about with Tara, the same show. But she has been consistently in the top 5 over the last season. So I know she's coming with a different hair look. She's coming in with a little bit of a different suit, I think, as well. So changing things up a little bit. But she's definitely want to be watching as well. Could easily be up in the top 5 again. But if you notice, I'm talking about a lot of these girls that could easily be up in the top 5. So let's see what happens. We're getting close there, you guys. We're almost at the end. Almost. And then we got Savannah Watchman, who just won this show. So Savannah is Olympia qualified. She just won the Night of Champions, that show that we were just talking about. She is definitely on the more muscular side here. I have a feeling with her, she's probably going to drop a little bit because she's muscular, and Rihanna and Ashley are a little bit on the smaller side in comparison to her. So I think that's probably going to hurt her a little bit. I think she might be a little bit too big for this lineup, but I could be wrong. I just think she's going to look a little bit big in muscle size in comparison to Ashley and Rihanna. So we'll see. We'll see how that works for her. But she's Olympia qualified. So again, there's nothing wrong with her doing this show and trying some things out. Maybe she got some feedback here at the Night of Champions that she's going to try out here and see what happens. I think she's probably going to be on the outside looking in, just because she is a little bit larger in the muscle development side, but I could be wrong. So this is going to be an interesting show, you guys. And we got Jessica. Jessica is also placing top 5s in these big shows, these top tier shows, right? She's, again, a previous Olympian. She's not Olympia qualified yet, but again, she's been doing very well. I know her feedback from New York was to come in with a little bit more size on the legs and a little bit more size on the glutes. So we'll see what she's done in the last couple of weeks as far as filling those back out. But again, she's a little bit on the smaller side when it comes to muscle size. So going back to, I think she's going to compare a little bit better to your Ashleys and Rihanna's. So I feel like she may have a chance to be up in that top 3 here with them. And she has been really close to beating Ashley in the past. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out for her too. I think she's going to compare well though here in this particular lineup. And I already said her. Okay, so we're good. We got it. We got everybody. I already said Maya. Okay. That's everybody I pulled on this list. So you can see this is a tough list here, you guys. Vegas is going to be interesting. And again, there's a lot of names on here that I did not even pull out, right? I didn't even pull these names out. Like there's some competition here. Yeah. Valeria Fedorenko, she's in there too. You know, she was second call out of these bigger shows. So there's, I just said Val, just said Val as you typed it. I don't know. There's a lot of names on this list, like I said, that I don't even know. So they can come out and kind of shock everybody. This is going to be a hell of a weekend, you guys. Hell of a weekend. So I do think the show is going to come down to Ashley and Rihanna. I don't know which one is going to pull the win out. I don't know. We'll see. I think that Val is getting better. I think she still needs to make some presentation tweaks, and I feel like she still needs more muscle. She's just so tall. She's like 5'11", you guys. She's so tall. She needs more muscle in her frame to fill it out. She needs that density. She needs to be able to pop out a little bit more and get a little tighter. So I don't see her in the top 5 here. This is just a deep show. Right? Yeah, it's a hell of a weekend, and it's not getting any easier. What did I tell you guys at the beginning of the season? I told you guys at the beginning of the season that as we got into the summer months, it was going to get harder and harder and harder and harder. And it's just going to get harder from here. And there's not a whole lot of shows left here in the U.S. You know what I mean? A lot of them are overseas. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. It's going to get interesting. Some people's feelings are going to get hurt as we get towards the end of the season and people aren't qualified. I don't know. You guys have anything else to add that I missed? Any competitors that I missed? Any thoughts? And as we're waiting for you all to put your comments in here, QR code right here for the Sizzling Summer Suit Sale. So my biggest suit sale of the year. I do this sale every year. It is our top biggest suit sale of the year right here. So click on that, scan that QR code, put in your name and your email address. It's free to register so that you're on the list for when we open up that sale. It could be usually wise for. Yes, I do think that they should compete before the Olympia. Absolutely. I'm sure there's some big name girls that will not qualify this year. There's just not enough shows left. There's just not. Just say it without you just saying it. I know, right? Oh no. I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be an interesting year, you guys. It's going to be an interesting year. It already is an interesting year. But like I said, there's going to be some people with their feelings hurt when we get to the end of the qualification system series. So if anybody ever wanted to take some time off to get better, this would be the time to do it. I don't remember the last show. It's October because the Olympia is in November. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but it's October. So we still got plenty of time, you guys. There's plenty of time, but there's just not a whole lot of U.S. shows left, to be honest, in comparison. There's a lot of overseas shows. Yep, Daraja has not competed yet. That's right. I think she's planning on competing in Tampa. She wants to come in and win that, I think. I think that's her plan. So there are no guaranteed wins out here, you guys. None. No guaranteed wins. This is too deep of a field now. It's too deep of a field now. So Yep. Okay, so the October 8th weekend. I'm just trying to look for this weekend. Once we get through this weekend, then we're good, right? Yeah, and then we'll go to next weekend. I don't know. These shows just the weekends start going by really fast. Once we get into this time frame, you know, when we go June, July, August, it goes so fast. July flies by because we've got, you know, major national shows almost every week. You know what I mean? So this is a very, very busy, fast time, right? Yeah, Issa has the ability to come back and win. But I think she needs to take some time off. I would love to see her take a year and just kind of reshape her frame to come back. She's always trying to still pose like her old posing, which doesn't work anymore. And when she tries to come in and pose like the new standards, that's when she gets beat. So I would love to see Issa go back and just fill her frame out. You know, work on putting some size into her or density into her glutes and her hamstrings and stuff so that she can compare well with everybody else at that top level. So, oh, you put the shows up, yeah, on your calendar. Yep, I get it. I don't know about Jody or Lana. I don't know if they're going to come on or if they're going to take a year. I don't know what their plan is. So I actually saw Jody in New York. And I think she was just kind of waiting to see what her body was telling her to do, kind of thing. What's up, Jessica? I was talking about you earlier. Jessica's on Instagram. So it's going to be a crazy show, you guys, or show weekend, not just a show. It's going to be a crazy show weekend across the board. So we'll see if we get some new qualified people, or maybe we don't. Actually, Ellie isn't qualified for the Olympia yet. So even Toronto, we will have somebody new qualify. Same thing on wellness side. The wellness side will have somebody new qualify. So, yeah. All right, you guys. So with that, I'm going to let y'all go. That was a long one for a preview. We don't usually go this long for previews, but we had 3 shows to do. So I'll be paying attention to all of them this weekend as much as I can, along with clients and all that kind of fun stuff that I have to do on the weekends. And we'll be back on again tomorrow night at 8:15. We'll do our prep and progress update tomorrow. So that will be our plan for tomorrow evening. So those of you that have not been on a Thursday night, bring in your prep and off-season questions. Anything that you would like to have answered or talk about. We have coaches that come on and talk and things like that too. So it's a lot of fun. So we're going to do that tomorrow. And again, Sizzling Summer Suit Sale right here. Scan that QR code. It is free to register. And that gets you on the list for when we open up the suit sale. And you can get 75% off my best packages out there. Best possible package you can get right here. Sizzling Summer Suit Sale. That's it. Okay, guys. With that, I'm going to let y'all go. Suitsandposing.com. I'll see you back here tomorrow night at 8:15. And Karen, I don't know what you just said, but I'm not even gonna say that because I don't want to put that energy out into the universe if it's not true. I don't know. I didn't see that. If that's the case, then I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna say no. I'm not gonna say it. I'll look. I'm not gonna say it though. I know, right? Don't be putting that energy out there, Karen. If it's not true, I don't know. I don't want gossip out here like that. Oh my God! Now everybody's gonna, as everybody goes and runs to her Instagram now. Oh my God! I almost got off the live feed unscathed. Almost. Karen, what are you doing? Oh my God. Okay, well I guess we're gonna go look at Daraj's Instagram now. Everybody's saying no. Okay. See, I'm like, it was okay. I saw that. I saw which post you're talking about, but I didn't think of that because as soon as you said the belly thing, okay, I get what you're saying, but I don't think it said anything about pregnancy in there. I'm just gonna say I don't think it said anything about that. We're putting some juju out there right now. We're putting some juju out there. I don't know if we should put that out there. All right, you guys, that's enough for me tonight. That's enough. We done. We finished. Cut. Can we edit this part out? Troublemakers, right? Karen's always the troublemaker. It's always Karen's fault. All right, you guys, that's it for me. Karen started it. It's all her fault. I did not start that. If there's a rumor now, it is not my fault. It is not my fault. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I'm not. We done. Okay. Suitsandposting.com. That's where you got to go to work with me. No pregnancy rumors here. None. All right, I'm going to log off of Instagram first, and then YouTube. All right, good night, you guys. Good night.